Okay, so let's continue with Norkel Corner and the wage gap.
So I find it quite odd that you're making. So yeah, that right there is actually a straw man there, and do more dangerous work. Okay, so now we're actually leaning on the level of being getting towards a little bit sexist, because
how exactly is that sexist? There are more men in construction, there are more men down coal mines, there are more men on oil rigs, there are more men in the military. If you look at the vast number of dangerous jobs, they are almost all occupied mostly by men. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some women doing those jobs, but those women are the minority. And this is clearly demonstrable simply by looking at the percentage of male deaths in the workplace, which is 93%. Why do you think it is 93% of all deaths in the workplace? Are you suggesting that men are maybe just more clumsy at work? Or do you think maybe it's because more men are doing more dangerous work? Now, it's interesting that men do more dangerous work. They're more likely to die at work. Alright, 9 times as likely to die at work. And yet men earn more money. Do you not see that there might be some kind of connection there, maybe? Just a little bit? Do you think maybe doing more dangerous work would earn you more money?
Because you're claiming that you do more dangerous work. So that's trying to signify in some ways that the woman is not able to do, that the woman is more fragile, cannot do the same amount of work.
No, what I'm saying is, on average, men tend to do more dangerous occupations than women. I'm not talking about in the same job. We're talking about different occupations. Remember, the wage gap is made up of the average male earning across all occupations compared to the average female earnings across all occupations. It's not comparing like to like, despite what feminists tell you. As I said in last video, if you're being paid differently based on gender and you're doing exactly the same work with the same qualifications, then go see your lawyer. But that's not the way the wage gap is calculated. Now, I guess I should point out that in some cases there are women who expect men in jobs that may require heavy lifting to do more work than they do. I think anyone who's worked in a factory has experienced at least one woman who has, expected guys to lift heavy boxes instead of her. And to some degree this is understandable because men typically are stronger than women. I mean, if you've got a 5 foot tall woman, you really can't expect her to lift the same weight boxes as, say, a 6'4" man. That just doesn't, that's just not reality, is it? She's obviously not going to be as strong. So yes, there are some cases in the same job where women are less likely or less able to do the exact same work, but at the same time do get paid the same pay. And we recently saw just this year, we saw a case with a New York firefighter who continually failed the entrance test, yet she was granted a pass because she was female. And then recently there was another case with a female firefighter who flunked her exam, yet was given the job and injured herself 10 days after starting the job. Now, clearly she shouldn't have been on the job in the first place. Now, that's not to say that women shouldn't be firefighters. Of course they should, if they can pass the requirements. If they can do the job, then I'm more than happy to have them as firefighters. Just exactly the same with men. If a man can pass the requirements, I'm happy to have him as a firefighter. If he can't pass the requirements, then he shouldn't be a firefighter. That's simple. And it's not only for the safety of the people they might have to save, but also for their own safety. Yet we give a special pass to female firefighters who flunk the exam, who can't do the physical part. We let them in anyway. I mean, what fucking lunacy is this? The simple fact is that the average man is physically stronger than the average woman. This isn't sexism, it's simple biology. It's simple evolution, and it's just a fact. Because
I know that I know women that get up on ladders that are lifting 50-pound, 50-pound boxes or 50-pound cases of whatever the fuck it is, and basically having to stack them on shelves and stuff like that.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that there are women who work in construction and work in mining and work on oil rigs and do all the other things and are capable of lifting the same weight as men. But they're not the majority. They're actually a minority. So when we're talking about averages, what that means is that more men do those things than women. We're not saying that there aren't women who do them. We're not saying that women are incapable because they're women. What we're saying is, on average, men are more likely to do it. That's all. And that's backed up by statistics across the board.
I've seen women that are packing, around huge levels of cargo, doing pretty much the same work in fact, I would say doing the exact same work and dangerous work, you claim, that a man does.
Yes, but there's less of them doing it. Basically, it's a numbers game.
There are women that actually do construction, women that are doing these different things, and some cases do it even better than men, yet still getting paid less.
I don't doubt that there are some women who do a better job than some men, just as there are some men who do a better job than some women. That's just common sense. But they're not getting paid less. That's a myth. Not if they're doing the same work. Once again, if they are, they need to see a lawyer. That's simple. Now, a man working a construction job is likely to earn more money than, say, a woman working in an office, because they're two different jobs. Just like a woman working in construction is likely to get paid more than, say, a man working in an office, because they're two different jobs. And generally speaking, more men are likely to work in construction and more women are likely to work in office work. That's just simple facts.
And why we have the privilege of being over 9 out of 10 workplace deaths. Yeah, please provide me with an evidence towards that.
Yeah, it's easy to find. Bureau of Labor Statistics, good enough, from the United States Department of Labor. So the figures from 2014, the number of fatal injuries on the workplace. Males, 4,320. Females, 359. So that works out 92% male and 8% female. Need I say anything more? Really?
I guess I need to watch more of your videos, but the point being is that which is why we have the privilege of being over 9 out of 10 workplace deaths. Okay, that just sounds like an overblown estimate. I would say that, I would consider that even a very illegitimate argument to make, that men have more privilege in that.
Yeah, that's what's known as sarcasm, because clearly being the majority of workplace deaths is not a privilege, which was the point of my comment. Sarcasm really doesn't work when you have to explain it, though, does it? Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I really don't think that really plays on very well in your favor. Or it doesn't really play well in either case. Are you really suggesting that a woman who works less hours per week than a man should be paid exactly the same wage at the end of the week? Again, it's not the fact that they're working less hours. And again, another big big straw man as well. Because I was not saying that she's working less hours per week. I'm saying that she doesn't get paid as much that she does not earn as much as a man makes. And I'm saying that in terms of how that there are. This is the thing that I really fucking hate about men's rights groups, is that they try to set up this straw man to say, well, the woman gets paid less because she doesn't work as much.
No straw man. It's a simple fact that on average men work longer hours than women. You may not be aware of this, but women have these things called babies. And when they have babies, they tend to take some time off work, whereas their partners tend to work longer hours to make up the earning gap in the family. Now, young women who don't have children or aren't married are out earning men of the same age group. And once again, this is on average. We're not comparing the same workplace, but all workplaces on average. And the reason for this is very simple. There are more women graduating university and getting higher paid jobs because of it. This changes when women start having babies, because they tend to take time off to look after their child, and when they go back to work they often only go back in a casual capacity. Thus, on average, women work less than men. Note the term, on average. Not saying every woman works less than every man, but if you put all the men and all the women together and you work out the averages, women work less.
Straw man. Many women actually are working the same amount as men are. In fact, many actually are working 8 to 12-hour shifts, some even overtime, and still getting paid less than their male counterparts.
And the differential she cited is not that great, so it could easily be accounted for by the
yes, because when I break them down the other way, I did this for the academic world, and there I found the women who are never married, which is the term the way I take it. There they were earning more than the men. And similarly, when the government did data some years ago on women who had been working continuously since high school into their 30s, there you found that they were making slightly more than men of the same description. So the difference is between married women and everybody else. And married men get an extra bonus because their wives take care of many things that enable them to put more time into their careers.
I'm sure you're aware of the fact that there are approximately 15% of all homes in which there is only one wage earner. So that when you talk about women being able to take care of things for their married mate wage earner, the fact is that in the overwhelming majority of American homes, the women also work. And therefore, I don't think your explanation that women have other responsibilities and that's why they are...
Work can mean part-time work or full-time work. Women do not work full-time to the same extent that men. Part-time workers make less than full-time workers.